I was here on Christmas evening. I was all by myself in the White House. It's a big, big house, except for all the guys out on the lawn with machine guns. Nicest machine guns I've ever seen.
You should have called. Yeah. All right. The new year began with a shot heard round the world.
Feel free to toast along with us.
Absolutely. You know what? Everybody here seems to be having a great time. He's not a big drinker.
It's like burning your lungs.
That gave me the creeps. I mean, he sounded like Chewbacca receiving a hot coffee enema. Or a Jersey Shore seagull choking on a toenail. Can we play it again?
You know what? Everybody here seems to be having a great time. He's not a big drinker.
He sounds like the Wicked Witch before she melted. Anderson drinks booze like CNN reports news. Anyway, if the new year ended there, I would have been happy. But instead, we got Mitt.
A leader has an impact not just on policies, but also on the character of the people who get to watch that person. And I think that's an area the president needs to focus more attention and hopefully make some changes there.
Oy. Yeah, Mitt went after Trump, penning a screed in the Washington Post. And what a scoop it was. He bravely stated that Trump is rude, divisive, and mean. Something he must have learned groveling for that Secretary of State job. Thanks, Mitt. Thanks, Mitt, for supplying the same fertilizer we already knew when we elected the guy. I can't wait for the news you break in your next column on the exciting new beverage called milk. But that's our Mitt, the opposite of Trump. Flat, boring, and kind of clueless. Here are 3 things I found that were blander than Mitt Romney. Number 1, Melba toast. Number 2, drywall. Number 3, crap, I couldn't find a third thing. All right, let's do a third thing. Here are 3 things I found that were blander than Mitt Romney. 1, Melba toast. 2, drywall. 3, 2 Mitt Romneys. Now, it's like a jackpot. Anyway, I like Mitt the same way I like clean socks. They're nice to have, but instantly forgotten. But let's be honest, Mitt got taken, like so many conservative anti-Trumpers who crave the strange new respect they might get from the media when they bash the president. Now, just a few years ago, Mitt was deemed by the media as a dog-hating, woman-in-binders misogynist. Now, that same media who made him out to be a Mormon Hitler thinks he's brave. And that's gotta feel good, Mitt thinks. People like him, finally. No, they still think you're a fool, but now you're a useful one. Poor Mitt, as handsome as ever, but slower than molasses on crutches. Doesn't he realize that once he stops bashing Trump, it's back to bashing Mitt? But it's not like Trump cares. He seems like he's in a good mood. I bet it's because he got a great letter from Kim Jong-un.
I just got a great letter from Kim Jong-un, and those few people that I've shown this letter to, they've never written letters like that. This letter is a great letter.
It's a great letter. It's a great letter. You know, we'd all be happy for a great letter. Or maybe it's something else. You know, he does get along very well with India and Prime Minister Modi. Or Modi.
I get along very well with India and Prime Minister Modi. But he's constantly telling me he built a library in Afghanistan. Okay, a library. That's like, you know what that is? That's like 5 hours of what we spend. And he tells it, and he's very smart. And we're supposed to say, oh, thank you for the library. I don't know who's using it in Afghanistan.
I don't know who's using it. Fair point. I mean, libraries here in New York, they're now just places for sleeping and porn. That's my experience anyway. But he could have had a lot easier presidency by doing nothing.
I could have had a lot easier presidency by doing nothing. But I'm here. I want to do it right.
Yes. So despite the noise, he seems fine, like he's gotten used to this sort of thing. Probably because he's used to this sort of thing. You've heard of sea legs. That's a person's ability to keep their balance on a moving ship. Trump has Trump legs, the ability to keep calm while his critics are losing their
My New Year's resolution is to make sure that the Republican Party dies.
He lies right to their faces.
Much like Hitler took over the Nazi Party, Trump has taken over the Republican Party.
When your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I said, baby, they don't, because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach them.
She said to her baby? What the hell is that? I mean, no one's even talked about that. You know, we bleeped it, but you know what she said. Animals are great. Animals are great. Animals are great. Animals are great. You know, screaming for impeachment is just an attention-seeking device for spotlight chasers. It's the Democrats' version of getting a barbed wire tattoo on your bicep. Suddenly, I'm so edgy, or what a 14-year-old thinks is badass. And so this year starts out as the last one ended. As the world rolls merrily on, Trump causes GTI, or good times insanity. Peace and prosperity reduce shaken adults to shrieking dopes. They just can't stop. And why not? Before Trump, they were nothing. Now with Trump, they are almost something. Oh, they'll scream for indictments, impeachment, and jail, but if Trump ever goes, they know they go too. Straight to the unemployment office, which will be in a building probably owned by Trump. Meanwhile, the debate over the wall continues. It's absurd, especially when you look back at what the Dems have said about the topic in recent years.
I voted numerous times when I was a senator to spend money to build a barrier to try to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
Oh, I like that guy. You should be president. It's funny how different your views are when you're the party in power. Suddenly, you're the adult, craving rules and laws. But then when you're out of power, you become the child. You throw tantrums and you deem borders as racist. Right, Donnie Deutsch?
You have 4 white men. You have 4 stoic, strong white men of a certain age, not smiling, by the way. And, you know, look, this is all Donald has left. He has one thing. This wall is not a wall. It is a let's keep America white again.
Now there's a wall. Donnie Deutsch. He's as dumb as one. Look at that head. He puts the block in blockhead. Line him up. He'd make a perfect wall. Resistance. So why this resistance to something they embraced before? Apparently, it's personal to the Dems. Trump isn't just pushing for the wall. He's suddenly become the wall, and they can't see over it. Maybe Trump needs to appeal to their feelings, not their brains, like this.
Are you ready for the most effective and most progressive infrastructure project this side of the Rio Grande? Then get ready for the all-new, least oppressive, racist-free, sexist-free Wall of Peace. This isn't your normal right-wing granddad's wall. It's the border wall you've always wanted, but without the systemic and pervasive inequality woven throughout social institutions. How's it work? First, it never speaks, so it's guaranteed to never misgender you or tell you shouldn't have majored in women's studies like your jerk of a dad does. And it's not ageist, sexist, or racist, because it keeps out everyone. Plus, it won't be white or male, so there's no white male privilege. Hate guns? Then you'll love the wall, because guns can't get past the wall. It has no sexual orientation, but is open to all types of behavior. Isn't that right, Gus?
Yeah!
The all-new rebranded Wall of America features a built-in Rosie O'Donnell to scare even the toughest cartel smugglers away.
Yet, sir! Yet!
This wall is so PC, it'll have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer chanting,
Build that wall! Build that wall!
It's the all-new, least oppressive, racist-free, sexist-free Wall of Peace.
Period. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so bright you'll see spots after she leaves. Attorney Emily Campagno. He's so wise, owls call him for advice. Country music legend and songwriter Larry Gatlin. And she's always woke and likes to smoke.
I don't smoke.
Well, you vape.
I do.
Don't interrupt the introductions. NASA Review reporter Kat Timpf.
Don't worry, Kat. Don't worry, Kat. Mine's worse.
When he snores, his neighbors call 911. Former WWE superstar, massive sidekick, and host of UnPC on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right. 2019, Emily, the first week, it's crazy as the last week. You had, what did you think? Do you think Romney is going to challenge Trump? Is this the beginning?
I think he thinks it is, but it's not. Because most of us are just as tired of these small bouts of tantrums that we're seeing from the left, and now all of a sudden he's, emerging from that table to now a position of what he deems as power and influence. And so he's wielding this little stick.
Yes.
And then it's just, we're all going to forget it, except the people around him aren't. And that's who he's supposed to be collaborating with. And I just feel like, yet again, it does a disservice to all of us whose taxpayer dollars pay their salaries, and his salary in particular, to have all of these like grandstandings and this show of force and anti-Trump and anti-this and all these expletives or whatever. How about you just do your job? Just do your job.
Larry?
Yes.
You have strong feelings about everything. Give me your strong feeling on this week. Your strong feeling, not appealing.
You want to try that again?
No, I'm good.
My strong feeling about this week?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Mitt. I mean, that's your monologue. I mean, there's almost nothing in life that is more contemptible and insufferable than watching poor little rich kids masquerading as petulant children. Since he was a child and his father lost presidential bid, many centuries ago, I think he has believed that he was entitled to this. When when Obama beat him, he has not gotten over this. And of course, Hillary is the all-time world champion thumbsucker. Poor little rich kid. Say that real quickly 5 times. So just to watch these people who have been so, have had everything in life, and they get their ass kicked once or twice, and now it's just, I should have won,
And I do think, Kat, that it was choreographed. I mean, this was as choreographed as a Broadway show, Kat. How's that for an analogy?
Pretty good analogy, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that it absolutely was, and I don't think that Mitt Romney is alone in this. We see it a lot in other Republican congressmen, and especially on the Democratic side, where it's become more about fighting than it is about finding any real solutions. That's why I think that this has been going on so long, all this fighting, because nobody really wants it to end. They just want to keep fighting because they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Which I can understand, because I've been in entire relationships like that.
I saw this.
But no taxpayers were paying me money for me to be in this relationship. So that's what makes it different. I agree with Emily. They need to stop it and stop focusing on becoming stars and I can get on TV or I'll be trending on Twitter for this, and focus on actually solving these problems.
All right. Cyrus?
Listen, President Trump, has made more millionaires in 2018. More people have gotten TV. More people become famous by talking trash about the president. He makes more stars than anybody else. I'm mad I never thought of that. This whole support thing. But Mitt is cashing in because we wouldn't be talking about him. And there's this little word. It's not a noun. It's not a verb. It's just Trump. If you say it in a sentence, people pay attention. So instead of being just another senator, he's now... His arch nemesis is now, so that's at least 2-3 weeks in the news.
Yeah.
Probably a book. So then another 5 or 6, bet there's going to be Mitt dealing with the Trump monster tell-all. But that, it fails in comparison. The one thing that President Trump has done, he's inspired so many people, and he finally did something for me. My favorite word is now okay. I love that word. Like, it's a noun, it's a verb, I use it all the time. If I don't know your name, I'll be like, what's that name? Now I can say it. No, they brought it. Hey, she said it, so we can say it.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah, sorry, Tom, get the beeps going. On. Like, I'm so happy.
That's 3 now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you should have a little quicker.
I think that's 4.
Try it when you get home.
Well,
thank you, President Trump. Thank you, sir.
It's true. He's turned everybody.
He makes dreams come true.
He's turned everybody into like a little restaurant that serves nothing but Trump, because that's when they get paid. So they're all out there and they're with their hot dog stand and they're selling Trump burgers, right? And then and people are buying. He truly is the product, and they're selling it, and he knows it. That's why it drives him crazy. Okay, coming up, Liz Warren is thinking of becoming president in 2020. She's ready to soar. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, aka Chief Full of Bull, announced she's launching an exploratory committee, and sadly, not for the North Pole. It just means she can begin raising money for a presidential campaign, which is probably why she got on the Instagram, kicked back with a cold one, and talked to all the kids out there in TV land.
I'm glad for everybody who's joining this video. It's great to hear from you. Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer. Hey, Glover, my husband Bruce is now in here. You want a beer?
No, I'll pass on the beer for now.
You sure? Come over and say hello to folks.
Yes.
So, this is my sweetie.
Hello.
He's the best. And I'm crazy.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, enjoy your beer.
Well, that was the opposite of comfortable. I like that part when he goes, no, I'll pass on a beer for now. Her husband looked like he was searching for the cyanide capsule hidden under his tongue. So once again, politicians go out of their way to show us how hard they must try to act like people. And they never get any better at it. If only there was a place where they could get help.
You've seen it before. Politicians and their awkward attempts to appear down to earth and relatable, and it just comes off as fake.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer.
Is she even human? It's almost impossible to tell.
Hi, I'm Bart Gilroy, and I'm running for office. Just like Senator Warren, I'm a complete phony. I have no real emotions. I simply act normal, so you'll like me. But unlike Warren, I no longer suffer from FPS, or fake person syndrome. And I owe it all to the politician school for phony liars trying to act human. They showed me how to drink beer, like every other person on the planet who drinks beer. And they taught me how to field serious questions from voters.
Me and the guys at the plant lost our jobs, and now I'm in danger of losing my house. What's your plan to create new jobs, and why are you smiling at me, you freak?
And they really helped me nail my sports lingo. Thank you for your service. What branch of the military are you?
It's a hockey jersey, Dad.
Hockey's a sport.
Sure.
But the best part? They taught me how to laugh at the right things.
Dial it back, Mr. Gilroy, too much.
Sure. Thanks, politician school, for phony liars trying to act human.
So, Larry.
Yes.
Whether you like Trump or not, this explains why he resonated, because he's real and he's not a politician. Because he's not a politician, he doesn't have to be an expert at being fake. It seems like politicians they're like a bug lamp. They attract people who are nothing but these stiff facades, which he is not.
Well, you know that deal about you can't fix stupid?
Yeah.
Well, you can't hide phony.
Mm-hmm.
It comes through, it reeks, it stinks. Let me tell you something. 35 years ago, I went to a place out in California, kind of like Betty Ford, for drinking and booze and all that. If she gets elected, I'm going to go get me a fifth of Jack Daniels, and I'm going to roll a doobie that looks like a javelin. And I'm just going to, because the people, those who don't learn from history will repeat it. The socialists, the people on the left, they somehow have the misguided opinion and idea that each one of you, simply by being born, that you are responsible for every bad decision and every bad break that everybody on the planet has ever had, whether they're coming from Honduras or you're responsible and you're supposed to take care of them. Well, I'm going to stand up, as my daddy'd say, on my hind legs, and by God, say, hey, that stops right here.
All right, Kat. I think that Liz Warren video kind of exposes her greatest blind spot, which is she's incapable of being anything but someone else, right?
Right.
Like first it was Native American, and now it's Brett Kavanaugh.
Yes. I have a great idea for.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a great idea for a running mate.
Okay.
Rachel Dolezal. Remember
Oh,
her?
yes. She
The
was
black
awesome.
lady or the white lady who pretended to be a black lady?
Yes.
They can run together and it can be like, you can't tell me I'm white 2020.
Yes.
I think that would be excellent.
That's really good.
But no, that video was very uncomfortable to watch.
Yes.
She was trying so hard to be cool. And it just really reminded me of how I used to behave in high school.
Yeah.
You know? And I would just walk around carrying a beer, but I wouldn't drink it because I was too scared because I was underage. And I would go in the bathroom and dump it out and pretend that I was drinking. That's kind of what it reminded me of. We even had similar haircuts.
Wow. Tyrus?
Yes, Tyrus?
Oh man, I'm just reminding me of the parents of every white girl I ever dated. That first time we met, they, hello, hi, get beer. I think they like beer. Keep them in the kitchen.
Keep them in the kitchen.
You know, like they were trying so hard. You know,
Keep
like
them in the kitchen.
Honey, would you
I
like
don't
a
even
beer?
know what that means, but it makes sense.
Well, you never had a daughter who dated a brother, so you would.
I had a sister.
But like that's what it reminded me of. Where they're just so nice and so awkward. Look, someone here has a daughter who dated a brother. Like that first time. You know what I'm saying? They're not racist. They just don't know what to do.
Right.
Like they don't want to say the wrong thing, so therefore they will say nothing right.
Emily, her husband didn't seem too thrilled to be there. He seemed like he'd rather be in a bathtub full of moray eels.
Totally. That's what was also so funny about that video and so obvious how unrelatable they are. And I love that he was just totally honest. Like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't want to be a part of this.
Yes.
Like, I hate this and everything about this. No, thank you. I thought that was hilarious and super telling. And I also find that it's so funny that I went to her exploratory committee website and, you know, her whole phrase is, we're going to rebuild the middle class. And then she's selling buttons for one button for $10 plus tax and shipping. The whole thing is such a farce,
They
you
were
know?
wearing sweaters indoors their own house. Like no one saw they all had zip ups. Like
I do that.
It's a total 80s movie. And I love, like you said, I love that when Judge Kavanaugh, then person Kavanaugh drinks a beer, it's literally like there is nothing worse in the world. And then she can do it like, oh, I'll have a beer.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Our next president. Anyway. Space Baby.
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm John Scott. President Trump confirming a U.S. airstrike in Yemen on New Year's Day killed Jamal al-Badawi, an al-Qaeda operative tied to the deadly attack on the USS Cole back in 2000. The U.S. believes he helped coordinate the bombing of the U.S. destroyer in Yemen's port of Aden. 17 American sailors were killed. The president making the announcement in a tweet, adding, "Our work against al-Qaeda continues. We will never stop in our fight against radical Islamic terrorism." And on day 16 of the partial government shutdown, Vice President Mike Pence leading another round of talks today to try to resolve the standoff as President Trump threatens to declare a national emergency to get military funding for his long-promised border wall. But he says that all depends on what progress there might be in the next few days. I'm John Scott. I'll be back at the top of the hour with more top stories on the Fox Report. Now, back to Greg Gutfeld.
Destroying an asteroid to save humanity, the first zero-gravity childbirth. Those stories in tonight's
Spacey
Yep. Spacey News. Spacey News. It's news that's spacey, as in taking place in outer space, not in Kevin Spacey. All right. first, the war on asteroids. NASA has developed its first mission to defend the planet called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART. It goes like this. DART will hit the smaller rock, and that will impact, hopefully, will get to the larger rock, which will get knocked off course, so it won't hit the Earth. It's like shooting pool for nerds. Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, which is home of the Nethers, a startup company called Space Life Origin wants to send a pregnant lady 250 miles above Earth to give birth. Who wouldn't want to do that? In space, the woman would be accompanied by a world-class medical team. The reason for this, just in case we ever have to leave the planet for good, we need to know how to reproduce in space. That's the excuse. For more, we go to Furball Bojangles as he trains for weightlessness. Who needs space? Am I right, Furball Bojangles? I want to be with that cat. Cat? Transition. Which mission, in your opinion, is more important? Playing pool with asteroids or giving birth in space?
The asteroids one. I can't handle this giving birth in space garbage.
Yes.
I do not know what's up with everyone who's giving birth now. They want to give birth in some super creative way. Like, I had a natural birth. I had a water birth. I gave birth into a giant bathtub full of Jell-O. Like, why?
Well,
why are you doing that? What's wrong with the hospital? I don't understand.
It's a lot of work.
I don't know if I ever have children, but I know that if I do, it will be on Earth, in a hospital,
yes,
with an epidural like a normal, sane person.
Yes. You know, Tyrus, at least in space, no one can hear the baby scream.
Yeah, but you know, space is you're so creepy, man. Don't think I can let that Nethers thing didn't get past this bow. You creepy, man. Gravity's important.
It is
in childbirth.
It is.
I've been late to both of my child's births because I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you know? That's true.
And I don't want it floating around. I mean, you ducking placentas and afterbirth, like. What? Think about it. It's in outer space. It's not going to just lay on the table. It's all going to be around.
Yeah, it is. You know
and
what?
Who's going to get the worst of that? The dumbass dude holding the hand. No, baby, you look. You know, like there's just that's terrible.
It is.
And like, forget the other thing. If we're stuck in a spaceship,
yeah,
because Earth we can't live there anymore.
Yeah.
The last thing any woman, I'm just guessing here, is going to get it on and have a baby. They'll be like, yo, you need to find a planet with some air first, T. If you want all this, find me some gravity and planet, some water, and some oxygen, and you can have all the booty you want. But until then, ain't nothing going on in this spaceship.
Yeah, there you go. Emily, I'm going to... Look at Big on Fox News. That would get the most applause. You know, I'm not going to laugh. I'm not going to laugh about the asteroid threat because it's happened before. I'd asked the dinosaurs, but they're not here because of an asteroid. So it could only it only takes one big asteroid.
You're right. And I loved that the whole plan mentioned only at the end, we need to figure it out 2, 5, 10 years in the future.
Yes.
So unlike the movie Armageddon, it's not instant.
Right.
We literally have to know 10 years in advance. So I feel like this is a lot of effort towards something that is probably not going to happen. And can I just say something on that childbirth thing? That in that like official report, there literally was a sentence in there that was like, and bodily fluids glob together and glide towards the capsule. Like the entire thing was like nauseating. And I feel like there's a lot of steps that we need to go through. But there's a lot of steps we should do before focusing on the birth part. Like, you know.
Yeah, it could be very messy, Larry. You know, I imagine being the first space baby, though. Talk about owning the entire topic of intersectionality. I mean, in identity politics, there's only one of you.
Thank you, Greg. I think there's only one of you, too. Well, my grandson, Cash Caldwell Gatlin, was born in Dubai, and Tracy, our daughter-in-law, gave birth the water thing.
Yeah, the water thing.
Okay, and this child is the most cerebral cat you've ever seen. He only cries when he needs to poop, eat, or sleep. Guess what? So do I. So
I think you should end on that note. End on a laugh, Larry.
It was a good laugh. Thank you. Laugh one more time, and we'll catch up commercial.
You know what? I'm gonna make a New Year's resolution. No more stories about childbirth. How much money would it take for you to quit Facebook for a year? Send it to me, and we'll discuss it when we get back. Is it worth 1,000 clams to tell Facebook to scram? A new study asks people how much it would take for them to give up Facebook for a year. The answer, about $1,000. So let me get this straight. You'll put your whole life on there, your opinions, your poems, pictures of your disgusting dinner, your annoying looking offspring, and they are. Then you stalk ex-girlfriends and ex-boyfriends. You post videos of cats, dogs, and ferrets. And then take $1,000 for you to give all that up. I wish that were true. I'll tell you this, though. If you offered me $10,000, I wouldn't stop doing this. Now, $20,000 I'd think about, but not for 10 grand. I love doing that. Tyrus, what do you mean? Is this like, it's not that much money, but I guess it is.
I think people will say anything. Probably figured they just came up with that round number or whatever. I don't use the Facebook app. I haven't used it for over 2 years. So I'm out the game. No farmers. Are they still doing the farmers thing? Anyone?
Farmville?
Boom, she's still on it. What I'm saying is like the people will say they'll take money, but they would take the money and then they would be back on it. You didn't say I couldn't use my fake account. You could, you know what I'm saying? Like people are so addicted to likes and the fake friendships and stuff like that they don't know they wouldn't know what to do without it. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't think $1,000 enough. They would break the rule. They'd take the $1,000 so they could buy more likes on Instagram. Exactly. They would just switch. Yeah. They go from Facebook to Instagram. And then, I'll take $1,000 to get off Instagram. Then they go to Twitter. Then they would bring back MySpace. Like, they would just keep jumping from different stuff because it's such an addiction. They just need that attention.
Kat, is $1,000, would you do that for $1,000?
No way. My high school ex-boyfriend is getting married this year. And, like, how else would I get my hands on those wedding photos? And how would I see how much weight that my other high school ex-boyfriend keeps gaining? How will I see if my middle school ex-boyfriend has a boyfriend yet? He does like men. We have that in common.
Oh, that's good.
But no, being ex-boyfriend detective is like my favorite career.
That's what this is all about. This is what Facebook is about, Larry. People looking at their past and wondering, what if? Or am I better than that person in terms of like what has happened in my life?
Well, you know, if they looked Justice Kavanaugh at his yearbook, if they looked at my yearbook, it would just be sleepy time down south. You know what I'm saying? I do not know how to get. Do you log into? What do you do? Well, I do not know how to do it.
First
Now,
you have to purchase a computer.
Well, I have.
Now, computer.
I do not have one.
Oh, no, and then you have to. That's where I start anyway. And you open it up and you press a button, and some things pop up, but you need to get the internet. Well, do you know what the internet is?
$8.95 a month.
It's in the sky, floating around you.
It's like a cloud.
It's like a cloud, and then they connect you to other people
through the cloud.
Through the cloud.
Really?
Yes.
Did you smoke a javelin-sized doobie before you got on it? No, look, let me tell you what I do. Let me tell you what I do, and I'm honest about this. You know, our little career, we've had a wonderful career. Here's what I do. I don't have many moments of, like this, but because nice people buy our records and come to our shows, I get to go to some places they don't get to go. I mean that. Yeah. So I'll do a selfie. Like I'm walking along, hey, there's a big iron thing. Oh, it's the Eiffel Tower. A lot of you folks in mid-America, flyover country, won't get to go. You've been nice to me. I get to go. That's what I'm doing. And I'm serious.
Of you.
I will take.
Look, you'll never see this.
Okay. No, but I send that. I send that to my assistant. She logs on to the cloud.
And then she wants.
Right.
And then people see it, and that's what happened.
That's beautiful. Beautiful story, I'm sure. Emily, would you take the money?
I've never had Facebook.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Ever. No. So I will say the reverse. You couldn't pay me. Like I would accept no amount to create a Facebook. But also what I thought was funny about that study is that it said that like all these people swore off Facebook when everything happened and all the data was like disseminated. And then, but the numbers proved otherwise.
Yeah.
So basically everyone was saying that they were like, I'm done with this, but no one really was.
Yeah, it's hard to give up something that you just take for granted. And I think that's what it is. All right, we got to go because we have so much more to come. Flaming dog crap on the porch is a classic prank, or is it arson? It's a debate you won't see on Special Report. This is a great story. Will he serve time in the tank for the world's oldest prank? Police and firefighters in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania responded to a report on Christmas Eve that, quote, a bag of dog poop was lit on fire on a porch. The bag was quickly extinguished. No damage done. No one got hurt. The poop was safe. A brief investigation led police to their suspect, 18-year-old Dylan Prince. Look at that hair. Who, according to the police report, confessed he was charged with 2 felony counts, arson and risking catastrophe, and was released on $20,000 bail. Flaming dog poop on the porch. That's the subject of tonight's
Is This Arson?
Yes, this is a new segment in which we devote 3 hours of live discussion on whether or not excrement set on fire constitutes arson. So, Emily, you are the lawyer here. Is this or is this not arson?
Okay, I just have to tell you guys that Pennsylvania takes arson so seriously.
Mhm.
They literally, in their state laws, they have 6 different categories of classes of arson.
Wow.
And one of them is literally, it's basically like if you think about lighting something on fire and you think about putting it somewhere where someone may or may not be, that's arson. Like they just take it so seriously. So it makes sense to me that he was charged. But I will say that it is the oldest prank on the planet. I mean, remember Can't Buy Me Love? Imagine if that had turned out with an arrest.
Yeah, it would have changed the whole plot, Larry. Is this arson or not?
Well, I don't know. I went to law school for 6 months, so I don't know whether it's arson or not. But inherent in the whole situation is, see, at some point in time, Dylan Loser, whatever his name is, had to actually pick up a dog turd, okay, and place it in a bag. You know, so if I were going to do that, I think the $1,000 that saved on Facebook, I'd pay somebody to do it for me. I just can't imagine anybody being so mad that they would pick up a dog turd,
put it in a bag,
put it in and then light it. I'm sorry. I
don't know. I think it's Strange Cat. I think the bigger crime is his hair.
Yeah.
Right? The
looked like a dog
man bun.
The dork. Yeah, it was a dork knot or a man bun.
Dork knot. Hashtag dork knot.
Yes.
No, I like man buns.
Oh, stop it, Emily. You don't like man buns. Cat, is it arson or not?
No. Because this is my reasoning. I did not go to law school, but I do watch a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yes.
And this happened in Billy Madison.
Yes.
And Billy Madison is not an arsonist.
No.
Okay?
I agree.
I should bring this argument to a court of law.
Yeah,
if this young man's looking for an attorney, then feel free to reach out to me. I will provide services.
Tell me you are not attracted to him.
I'm not attracted to him.
Okay,
No.
just checking. We never know. So
No, I'm really proud of myself that I'm not. But like, what next? What next is arson? Like, one thing that I think could be arson though, is those trick candles. On the birthday cake.
I think agree.
That should be arson because that is non-consensual fire.
That is so true. That is so true. I don't think it's arson, Tyrus, because you're burning something of no value.
Well,
is that?
That
depends who you talk to, really.
Yes, that's true. There are some people that enjoy it.
I didn't go to law school, but I did go to school of hard knocks, and that was the idea. Here's the thing they're missing. That investigators maybe they could have further along the search. The idea is when you light the little bag on fire, the person comes out and puts it out.
Yes, exactly.
So if anyone is at fault, it's the dumbass who went, this bag's on fire. Let me download what to do.
Wait, in Pennsylvania,
look at
you
this
get charged if
YouTube.
you don't call 911.
And then, because the world we live in now, to where if you walk in a park, they'll call the police on you. So they literally called the police and the fire department. So let me just see if I can figure out to paint this scene for you guys. There's a small bag of burning dog crap, and a firefighter and a police officer had to come in and go, well, how are we going to handle it? Oh, I got it. And somebody put it out. And then the guy stood up on the bush, got you, and that's how they got him. Like, literally, it's a prank.
Yeah.
You guys, that's one of the categories.
Prank.
Tyrus, that's one of the categories.
That's
because
why. What city is this?
If you don't report it, then you can also be charged with a category.
What city is this again?
Shippensburg.
My black ass is never going there.
All right, so I have to commend Emily for bringing the law to this. I didn't know a lot about this, and maybe it is arson.
Depends on his defense attorney.
Exactly. If it happens on my porch, it's definitely arson. But if I do it, it's not arson. Final thoughts. Go. The Gutfeld Monologues is live, coming to Florida. 2 shows, Saturday, March 2nd in Tampa, Sunday, March 3rd in West Palm Beach. Special guest, Tom Shalhoub. Tickets for both shows are on sale now. Go to ggutfeld.com for ticket information. All right, we're out of time. Thanks to Emily Campagno, Larry Gatlin, Pat Tiff, Tyrus, studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.